Thanks, Anucha, for that. Let's now talk about one of the companies which has been buzzing around on back of news, SpiceJet. Sanjay Aggarwal of SpiceJet joins in now. That stock's up 3%, as you can see. Sanjay, morning. Thanks for joining in. February numbers have been pretty good. Do you think it's sustainable? Because March typically is not a great month for the aviation sector.
February actually was driven by some of the fair war that went on in the industry in the month of January. So we already went into February with at least 40+% of the bookings that were done in January. So I don't think the February performance is kind of reflective of what we will see going forward in terms of demand. It was pretty much stimulated by the low fares in January.
There's been a lot of speculation about your meeting with Jay Wadia and whether you're interested in Go. Can you confirm or clarify whether you indeed are talking to Go and some kind of a merger or amalgamation is on the cards?
No, then we don't comment on, we don't either confirm or deny such speculations or rumors. But, as I've said, I did meet with him, but that does not necessarily mean anything. And the meeting was, I'm new to the Indian aviation industry, and the meeting was just to get to know him. But beyond that, I will not say anything.
Sanjay, morning. You have mentioned earlier, though, and we're quoting from a comment you've made, we would like to buy a low-fare domestic carrier as the company is expected to break even next fiscal. We may even look at equity dilution to a foreign company. You're open, right, to looking at some of these low-cost carriers?
We believe Mithali, right? Mithali, there will be consolidation in the Indian aviation industry. Now, what shape or form that consolidation will take is kind of hard to predict, and it is also hard to predict the timing of it. But as and when the opportunity does present in the future, SpiceJet would like to lead the path for consolidation. So that is true. However, on equity dilution, we are not looking for equity dilution. SpiceJet, fortunately, is in a good financial position right now. As you mentioned, we do see a good fiscal year next year, provided the oil stayed at the level it is at, or even if it went slightly higher. So we are not looking to raise equity, and if we are not looking for equity, there is no question of us accepting dilution. I hope that answers your question.
Sort of. Sanjay, what's your own take of who the likely beneficiaries might be of this slump down in traffic that you've been seeing? Do you think it is indeed the low-cost carriers who will probably benefit this fiscal?
What has happened, Mithali, the last several months, what we are seeing is a shift in or an increase in our corporate business. What is happening is more and more corporations are trying to cut costs, preserve cash, and they are asking their employees to fly economy and choose the lowest cost alternative when it comes to flying. So we think the LCCs are seeing a disproportionate gain, in traffic of the corporates. And as we are all aware, LCCs now form, including all the, the Jetlight, the Kingfisher, Indigo, SpiceJet, and Go Air. We are about 50% of the market share combined of the Indian aviation market. And about 5 years ago, the LCCs did not even exist. So that kind of speaks for the business model and its success in India.
Sanjay, if you had to stick your neck out and predict what kind of an average load factor you might operate at in the next 6 months, do you think it will be closer to 70% or closer to 60%?
My guess would be it'll be around 70, give or take a few. So, but then the other key point besides the load factor is the yield. What kind of yield the business will generate, what kind of fares we will see in the marketplace, because it's at the end of the day, the sustainability of the industry depends on the revenue that we bring home. So it's not only the load factor, but a combination of the yield. And we think at the current fares, we should expect to see a load factor in 70s or high 60s, low 60s or high 60s. Sorry, low 70s or high 60s.
Good luck for the rest of the year. Thanks, Sanjay, very much for taking time out today. That's SpiceJet saying no comment to Go Air, talks with Go Air, but confirming that February might have been a bit too much of a positive blip. because of the fares in late Jan, and probably not a sustainable kind of a situation. That stock's up 3.5% at 14 rupees.